Hey guys, happy new moon in Cancer. Today is the very first day of the new moon. So I hope you guys have a chance today to carve some time out for yourself and for your practice. And today we are just going to work on some heart openers, a little bit of a nice vinyasa flow. Then we'll bring it back to the ground, do some unwinding before we end our class. So I've got my Manifest with the Moon sage candle. I'm going to light this puppy up right now for us. I do love the sage. I'm super happy about that. This is just a nice way to get that sage oil diffusing through your home. Let go of any negativity. Let the sage candle burn that away. Let it go, let it flow, and let's move on. So I'm going to place my candle at the back of my mat here, but you can place yours at the top of your mat if you like to keep your kind of eye on something. Just put it off, just not on your mat, in front of it, side of it, whatever, somewhere where you're not going to kick it over, please. So I'm going to place mine back here so that I'm not knocking it over, but nice gentle reminder. So if we will start, come onto your mat. You can have a towel. You can literally just be on the carpet too. Does not matter. You do not need a fancy yoga mat to be doing this today. Whew. So you can come into any comfortable seated position to start. You can cross your legs, come into that kind of seated position. You can have your legs out if that's not comfy for you. I have a knee issue, so sitting cross-legged is actually kind of difficult for me these days, but we're getting there. So to get us started, again, find a nice comfortable position. And I want you to just take a nice deep breath once you've found that position. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You want to start to feel, check in with your body, ground down. You can even kind of scooch and remove that flesh, from under your sitting bones. You can really sink down even deeper. It feels really nice to feel those sit bones really nest into the ground and give you a nice solid base. And from the bottom, we want to just slowly move our awareness up through the spine. See if we're caving in the low back or anything, or the upper back. Start to bring that awareness all the way from our base, slowly up through the abdomen, straighten up your spine. Bring your awareness to your sternum. We don't want to press it too far forward, but we don't want it caved in. So just act as if there's a little string right here that you can just lightly pull. Lightly pull it up, not too strong. That brings us up to our collarbones. I want you to feel your shoulders. Now roll them out a little bit, pull them down and away from your ears. Let that space be created in your collarbones. And take another deep breath. You can notice your energy starting to line up. Things are starting to feel a little bit better. Getting that nice flow going on through the spine. Just imagine that there's an energy flow that just goes almost like a full loop up one side of the spine, down the other, through the sit bones, back up. And just imagine that little light just moving around. Move with your inhale and your exhale. So that's just to get our energy flowing and notice where we're at. Now with today's new moon, with every new moon, we want to set some intentions. But before we can set intentions, before we really press forward, I want us to make sure we really release any junk that we've got going on, any inner tension, any inner turmoil, emotion that is just kind of stuck. It's not really there for any specific reason. It's just not out yet. So in order to help us get all of that stagnant energy out, we're going to do breath of fire. We're going to do 3 rounds, and we'll start with just 10 breaths per round, and then we'll do that 3 times. And so I'll do the first time. You can just kind of watch, and then we'll do the 3 rounds together. So what we do with the breath of fire is take a deep breath in all the way down to your belly, and then we're going to press with the abs and really pull in and force that air out, and then we'll just move really fast. So when you force it out, just relax the belly, and that will draw the air back in, and then force it back out again with that big push. So that looks something like this. So I'll show you, and then we'll do 3 rounds together. So it looks like this. I'll put my hand on my belly so you can see what's happening here. So that was 10 quick breaths. So I know it looks a little crazy, but it feels really good. We're going to do 10 rounds of 10 rounds 3 times. So, and we'll take a couple breath breather in between just so we don't get lightheaded. All right. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep belly breath in. And go. Force that last 10th of breath out. Hold it out for a minute. And take that deep breath. Another deep breath. And let's go for round 2. Big breath in. After that 10th breath, force the air out, hold it out. Hold the abs in. Big breath in, exhale. Couple of normal breaths. And then we're going to do one more round of 10. Big breath in. Lock it out. Big breath in. All right. Shake that out. Roll your head around. Move your head from side to side. Move your shoulders around. Take some big breaths. And just notice where your energy's at. You can probably feel that flowing. Hopefully you can get any of that stagnant, sticky stuff out of the lungs, moving out away from us, and so that we can make some room for some more intent. So here we're going to move on to our hands and knees, and we are going to do a little bit of cat-cow action to get that spine flowing, get that energy moving. So from this hands and knees position, we want the shoulder, elbow, and wrist aligned. We want the knee and the hip aligned right there, like a tabletop. And then when we take an inhale, we're going to dip that spine down, bring the crown of the head and the tailbone up towards the sky. Big breath in. And then when we exhale, press through the spine, curl up and under, press through the shoulders, squeeze the abs, and exhale, squeezing all that air out. So then with your inhale, up, and exhale in. Inhale up, exhale in. Squeeze in like a cat. Inhale up, exhale in one more time. And then release, and you can just kind of move any way you need to. Oof. Feel any energy kind of move out of the way. Don't move anywhere that's painful for you. If it's starting to feel a little bit too tight, you can always move gently out of that space, because we don't want to be forcing or pressing anything too hard. So from here, we can kind of walk our legs up a little bit, and we'll come up onto the knees. We're going to do a little bit of a camel pose here to help open up the heart a little bit more, open up the chest before we move into our standing stuff. So here we want to bring those hands to the low back and place fingertips down. Place them right there on that sacrum area. You can roll those shoulders down and back. And here you can have your feet flat, or if you want, you can tuck those toes to make your heels a little bit higher so you have a little bit higher accessible point. We're going to try to reach back, but if that's not comfortable for you, just keep your hands right here and just lean back. So here we'll just start to pull our attention to our shoulders and start to fall back. Press up through the sternum. Let the head fall back a little bit. And right here, you can slowly start to drop one hand to one heel and then the other hand to the other heel. Oof. And let the head fall back. Oof. Press the chest forward. Let the head fall back. Couple big breaths here. And then nice and slow, bring the head up. One hand to the low spine, the other hand slowly to the low spine. You can untuck those toes. You can sit back. You can either come back to a child's pose if you'd like, or you sit back on your knees and let your arms come forward. You can let your butt come all the way back to your heels is really where you should be. But like I said, I've just had some knee surgery, so I can't get back there yet. But we're getting there. So come back to your child's pose. Couple breaths here. And then slowly start to come back up. We'll come into that tabletop again. And from here, we're going to tuck the toes and bring the hips back into our first down dog of our practice. So down dog is an essential to our practice. It's one of the most grounding poses you can do, and it activates your entire body. We're going to start with our awareness on the hands, on the palms. Spread your hands nice and wide and then press down through the palm, through the full length of your palm, and even those finger pads kind of right there on the top of your palm. Press those down into your mat. From there, look at the eyes of your elbows. So look at the inside of your elbow. Imagine there's a little eye there. You want both your elbows pointing so that if they had a line, they would be pointing at each other and it'd be crossing right at the center point. So we are all about alignment here. From there, you can press back through your shoulders, let your head come down so it's in line with your arms. We want to press up through the hips so that you lengthen out the spine. And we want to press down through the heels to lengthen back the legs. Big breaths. So here we're all activated. Arms are nice and strong. Shoulders are activated and pressing back. The hips are up in the sky and leading down the backs of the legs to the heels, down back to the floor. Take those big breaths, pulling that air all the way up towards our hips. One more breath. Press back through those palms. Bring our gaze up between the hands. You can slowly start to walk yourself up to that space. We'll inhale halfway, extend your spine out. Exhale back down. And then inhale slowly. Lift your arms up. Start to come all the way up to the standing position. Let the fingertips touch and exhale. Down to heart center. You can let those hands drop all the way through. Let the palms face forward. Whew. Roll out those shoulders. Close your eyes and let's ground down through the standing position. So here we are going to really just close those eyes. Let the feet be about hip width apart. And we're going to start from the ground and move our awareness up through the crown. So lift up your toes, spread them nice and wide, and plant them back down into your mat. We're going to lift up the heels and bring them back down. Just kind of do that a couple times, up and down. Feel your weight between the front and the back of your feet. Once we're happy there, we're going to start to lift up through the knees, kind of tighten that the quads right there and lift up through the kneecaps. Bring that motion up so the legs are nice and activated here. Keeping all of that nice and grounded energy, move it back towards the glutes. So bring that awareness back from, we're moving up from our knees up through to the hips. Tighten up the glutes, kind of bring it in. Lift up through the spine, lift up through your chest. Roll those shoulders down and back. Let the palms come down, shake out that energy. Take a deep breath. Big breath. Feel where you're at. Feel if you're leaning one way or another. Try to balance it out. And we'll bring those palms to heart center. From the top of our mat, we're going to step back with our right leg, just a little bit, small step. And again, we're going to make sure that those legs are hip width apart. So our right leg is in line with the right hip, left leg is in line with the left hip. Those left toes are pointing forward. We're going to lift the toes of that right leg in the back and just point them out just a little bit. Kind of point them out towards the side of your mat, slight angle there. We're going to bring our hands to our hips and just check in with your hip alignment. If you're turning towards your side of your mat, we want to turn so that we are pointing right at the top of our mat here. Here we're going to bring those hands behind our backs. You can either grab your elbows or you can do a prayer position in the back, hands together in the back, helping to open up that chest. And here we're going to lift up through the chest, take a big breath, lean back a little bit, bring that gaze up. And then as we exhale, we're going to keep that left leg nice and strong and straight. Keep that right leg nice and strong and straight. And exhale, slowly start to bring that body forward. Now you can stay right here if you'd like and kind of keep that leg activated. This is a great spot for me because I need to work on this left leg strength. So right here is really where I'm holding. However, if you're feeling that really nice stretch in the back of the leg and you want to go a little bit deeper, by all means, you can let that torso come all the way down. And take some big breaths here. Go for about 5 big breaths. Again, you can work on stretching out by letting yourself kind of come down here, or you can work on strength a little bit more by coming up here and holding that right up here. Last breath. You can slowly start to come up. Release those hands, shake out through the shoulders. And bring that right leg up to meet our left and shake it out. We can turn ourselves around. We're going to step that right foot forward. We'll have that left foot back. Again, right foot is pointing straight towards the back of our mat. Hips are pointing straight to the back of our mat. But that left foot is pointing out just a little bit, about a 45-degree angle to help us keep some balance there, keep some steadiness. So again, we want to bring those hands back behind our back. Either grab our elbows or prayer position in the back. And we'll start with pyramid on this side. So we want to, again, straighten that right leg, brace that knee, get nice and strong through the legs, through your base. Take a nice big inhale, let the chest come back a little bit, big breath in. And then as we exhale, we want to slow and with control, move yourself down. And again, you can keep your torso right here, or you can drop down so that you are really stretching the back of this right leg. This is really where you'll be feeling it. And in the hips, really getting that nice deep stretch there. Opening up the backs of the legs, getting some more energy flow. Again, if you want to work on some quad strength here, you can come up a little bit and keep that torso straight out instead of all the way down. And one more big breath, slowly come up. We can release those hands and we can kind of turn ourselves, shake it out. Be gentle with your joints. Just move around nice and slow. Oof. Oh, move those shoulders out and around. Shake it out. Coming back up to the top of our mat, we're going to do one little vinyasa flow, and then we're going to move into warrior two. So we'll bring those hands to our heart center. Come up towards the top of your mat. Take a nice big breath. Lift your arms up tall and exhale down to the ground. Inhale halfway, extend your spine out. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into your plank or your chaturanga. And here, we can do one of two things. From your plank, you can go knees, bring your knees down, and then your chest and your chin. Keep your hips up like this. And then when you inhale, you can come into a little baby cobra, which is just right here, where you peel those shoulders back, squeeze the spinal muscles open through the chest, and then you can plant those toes, or tuck the toes, press up, and come into your down dog. So that's option one. Or from your plank position, you can do chaturanga, where I'll go in slow-mo for us, where we want to start to bend at the elbows, but we want to keep the shoulders forward. Keep your elbow in line with your torso, and then come up into your cobra. This is your tall cobra. Hips are up off the ground, arms are straight, shoulders pressed up, and this is pretty harsh on your low back. So if you have any pinching here in this low back area, I would say don't do this part, just come into that low cobra, and that'll be a lot nicer on your spine. Anyway, so from here, then again, you can either tuck your toes and come back to your down dog. So, doesn't matter how you get to down dog, but either do your knees, chest, and chin to your cobra, and then back, or do your chaturanga. From here, down, come up as you inhale, and exhale, back. So we'll all meet down in down dog. You can walk out the dog a little bit. That just means alternate bending those knees. And here we're going to plant down through that right leg. Lift our left leg up nice and tall. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that left leg through. Plant it between your hands. Right there. Keep it towards your kind of the left side, I guess. And from here, we're going to rotate that right leg or that right heel out. So the toes of the right foot are pointing to this long side of our mat. And then we can windmill coming up. Bring those arms up and around. And we can settle into warrior two. So here again, our right foot, the side of our right foot's in line with the back of our mat. Toes of the left foot are pointing up towards the top of our mat. Toes of the right foot pointing at the long side. Hips, if we're turned this way, we want to try to open up. Turn to this long side of our mat and open up the hips on this level. Bring a little check to our left leg. Take a peek, see if you can see your right toe or your left big toe. If you can't see it, if your knee is like coming in, just slowly press it out so you can see that left big toe on the inside, not on the outside, on the inside. Bring those arms out and bring your gaze down your arm through your middle finger. Here we want to keep those arms strong. We don't want to be floppy arms. Nice, strong, and engaged arms. We want the back leg to be pressing back as straight as we can. We want that left leg to have a nice deep bend there. We want the hips to be nice and centered. We want them to be opening up to that long side of our mat. We can feel that kind of twisting here and the opening right here. And again, just bring those arms out. Nice and tall through the spine. We don't want to be leaning forward like this or anything. Right in the middle. I love warrior two. We'll bring that right hand back behind our back. Lift up through the left arm, big stretch, and exhale. Bring that left hand down. Windmill the right arm around. Left leg back to our plank. Chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Inhale into your Cobra or your up dog. Tuck the toes. Come back to your down dog. Walk out the dog a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. So lift that right leg up nice and tall. Exhale, bring it through. Plant it between those hands. Turn the toes of the left foot out and come up into your warrior two here. So again, toes of the left foot are pointing to that long side of our mat. Toes of the right foot are pointing up towards the short side of our mat. We want that spine to be nice and straight in the middle. Hips opening up to the long side of our mat and arms out and strong. We want to take some big breaths. Again, make sure you're not leaning forward or back. We want to be right in the middle. Gaze down the right arm, down the right middle finger. And we can start to drop that left arm back. Lift the right arm up. Reverse warrior, big breath. And then exhale. Windmill those arms around. Plant the hands. Step that right foot back to meet the left. Into your plank position. Chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin to the ground. Inhale into your up dog or cobra. And exhale back into your down dog. Again, walk out the dog. Loosen up through the hips. And we'll slowly start to walk our way up towards the top of our mat. Step the feet hip width apart here. Take an inhale halfway up. Exhale back down. Let the head hang down, let the arms hang down. And then on a nice slow count of 10, roll the spine up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Starting to come up. Roll those shoulders. Let the neck loosen up with a couple neck rolls in each direction. And take a big breath. Arms up. Exhale to heart center. All right, here we're going to do just a little bit of balancing before we move down to the ground. So I want you to ground down into that right foot. Start to bend the left leg. Transfer all that weight over into your right leg. And then I want you to give a little bit of bend into the right leg as well. And then we're going to bring that left leg up. And if you can, just wrap it right around. You can let that toe fall out like this, or you can try and tuck that toe all the way around your right leg. And if you'd like, you can stay right here and just focus on balancing right here. If you'd like, you can bring your right arm in front of you and then bring the left arm down and wrap it around. And this is then the full expression of eagle, twisted eagle. So here we want to be squeezing those arms together, squeeze those legs together, and we want to be squeezing the core. This is a really great pose for activating the whole body, squeezing out any toxins through the muscles and the lymph nodes, getting the blood flowing, getting oxygen to all areas of the body. We can slowly unravel the arms, unravel the legs, and shake it out. We're going to switch over to the left side. Again, take care of your body. Everybody's body is different. And if you're feeling any pain or anything anywhere, back off and just do the moderation. Because like I said, I'm showing multiple ways of doing things. So just do what you're comfortable with. So we're going to move to the left leg. So start to transfer that weight over. You can bend that right leg, transfer down through the left leg, give a little bit of bend into that left leg, and we'll start to lift that right leg up. Again, you can just wrap it right here and leave it right here, or you can try and tuck that toe around. Either way, we want to try and be strong through the hips and right down through that left leg. Anchor down. Bringing the attention up through to the shoulders, stand up nice and tall. You can bring the hands to heart center, or if you'd like, bring the left arm in front of you, right arm down and underneath, wrap around. You can kind of sink into the hips a little bit. Again, we don't want loosey-goosey arms. We want nice, strong, energy-driven arms. Some deep breaths. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you can start to release. Unwind those arms. Unwind the legs. And step it out. Shake it out. All right, we'll just step the feet out nice and wide on the long side of our mat. And we're about to move down to the ground. So to take a nice big breath, lift those arms up nice and tall. And exhale down to the ground. We want to reach out towards those toes. And then just slowly let the crown of the head come down. Take a couple big breaths here. Bring that air all the way up to the hips. And exhale. On your next inhale, come up just halfway. And then exhale back down. You can grab your elbows if you want and just kind of let your torso hang between the two legs. This feels really nice and helps elongate the spine. And again, we're going to come up halfway. So deep breath in, halfway up. And then exhale back down. You can reach your hands to the middle, out to the side. You can reach them back behind your mat if you'd like. Whatever feels best. And we can slowly start to ground through the hands. You can kind of walk the feet in and come down onto our bottoms, however you're comfortable. Like I said, I usually just cross my legs and sit down, but cross leg is hard these days. But we'll get there. Anyway, so coming down to the ground, we're going to sit down into our seated position again. Any comfortable seated position. We are going to do 3 more rounds of breath of fire, and then we're going to move into our cool down sequence. We're almost done, guys. You guys have been awesome. So again, sink down through the sit bones. You can remove that flesh. We all have it. It's all there. Move your ass and sink down. There's no shame in that game. All right. Sink down through your hips. Lift up through the chest. Let those shoulders roll down and back. You can bring that hand to the belly if we want, or you can keep those hands here, wherever you're comfortable. Now, when we did the breath of fire in the beginning, we did 10 breaths. I'm going to push us, and we're going to do 20 breaths per round this time. Ready? Be nice big inhale. Big breath in. Great job, guys. Again, that inhale is pretty passive because we're squeezing so hard with that exhale that as soon as you let go of the squeeze, the inhale just kind of automatically happens. So just let it go like, and it'll flow. It'll be great. So let's do round 2, 20 breaths. Deep breath in. couple breaths. And again, at the end there, I'm doing a bandha lockout. We will get there. I can teach you that. But this is enough for today. And one more round of 20. Deep breath in. Couple big breaths. All right, guys, we're almost done. Just a couple more poses. We're going to come onto our backs. We're going to turn to the long side of our mat. And we're going to lay down here. Let the legs come down. Arms come out. Big breath. Reach your arms up towards the top of your mat and point your toes down to the bottom. And then when you exhale, come into a little ball. Squeeze in. And then inhale. Stretch out. Big breath. And exhale. Come in one more time. And come down. You can drop down. Here we're going to bring the hands down next to us. And then we're going to bend the knees. Bring the heels as close to your bottom as you can so that they're even. So as you can see, this left leg, or this right leg, I can get it almost all the way up to my butt. This left knee, though, or this left leg is not doing so hot. So get to wherever your feet are even with each other, as close to your bottom as you can. And then press up through your chest, press those shoulder blades up. Kind of tuck your shoulder blades underneath your chest. It just kind of creates almost a padding for your spine. And then from here, you can press down through the arms and then press down through the heels. And then start to lift up through the hips. And we're just coming up into a nice bridge pose. So press those hips up as high as you can. And then we want to press that sternum up towards our chin. So keep those arms down. Palms down into the ground. Press down through the heels. Press up through the hips. Press up through the chest. Squeeze those spinal muscles. And then on an exhale, you can slowly start to drop those hips down to the ground. You can untuck the shoulder blades. Bring that sacrum down to the ground and then bring the knees up to the chest. Kind of lengthen out that spine. Bring the feet down. And then here we're going to place the hands down again. We'll lift the legs up towards the sky. Straighten the feet or flex the feet. Bring the feet together. And here we're going to come back to a plow position. So starting from here, just start to lift the hips up and roll them back, and then let the feet fall to the floor behind you. So we want to ultimately stack our hips right above our shoulders so we can let those feet fall back. Keep your eyes gazed right towards your hips, right at your legs. Just keep it all centered. Couple breaths here. Again, try to bring the hips in line with the shoulder blades. And then you can slowly start to uncurve the spine, but just bring it down one vertebrae at a time. Just try. Try to come down so slow. So slow. Let each vertebrae come down. You want to go as slow as you can with control. And once your whole spine has met your mat, you can slowly start to drop those feet down. And straighten out through the legs. Close the eyes and we're going to come into Savasana. So I want you to roll your hands so that the palms are facing up towards the sky. Open up through the chest, press your shoulders back a little bit. Pull them down away from your ears. Let your toes fall out to the side, hip width apart, or even a little bit more. You can let them be almost more like mat width apart. And again, just let those palms face the sky. Close your eyes and start to take some big breaths. Bring the breath all the way down to the belly button when you inhale. Fill the lungs all the way up through the collarbones. And exhale. For your next 3 breaths, let your exhale come out through your mouth in a sigh. Deep breath in. Let more big breath. One more big heavy exhale. Let the tension between your eyes release and melt away. Let your face be relaxed. Let your jaw loosen. Let your palms relax. Let your body sink down into your mat with each and every exhale. Sinking deeper. Letting the eyes stay closed. I want you to lift your right arm up and lay it down next to your head and turn towards your right side in a fetal type position. Just gently roll towards your right side. Take a couple breaths here. Keeping your eyes closed. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly start to press yourself up into a seated position. Again, try to keep those eyes closed. We're keeping all of that juicy awareness internal, keeping all of our energy right here, right here. Keeping those eyes closed, find that comfortable seated position. Again, remove that flesh from below your sitting bones and really sink down. Lift up through the spine, lift up through your shoulders. Let the shoulders roll down away from your ears. Lift up through the crown of the head. And take a couple big breaths. I want you to bring your hands to heart center, palms together. Press the thumbs against your chest. Drop your head in a bow to your highest self. Take a nice deep breath. I'm going to chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, which is Om, the universal sound, how we're all connected. And Shanti means peace, and we say it 3 times, once for peace within ourselves, once with peace with others, and once for universal peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Gently start to rub the hands together and create some heat and energy. Place those warmed hands over your closed eyes. Slowly start to gently rub your face. Slowly open your eyes. Let your awareness come back to your place and time and space in your body. You can give yourself a little massage wherever you feel you need it, whether it's maybe your neck or your shoulders, or maybe just giving yourself a big hug. Saying thank you for your practice. Thank you for all your body allows you to do and all it has done for you and all it will continue to allow you to do. Happy New Moon, guys. One love.